this is the last model. I'm really not sure if these things are really worth it going through these models, but here's what I hope you can do. I hope you can really not be afraid to look at them and get some ideas from them. You know, think about how your analysis might work. This is Evaraz. Can't pronounce it very well. And some of the unique features about this one, maybe not that unique. Again, the same kind of thing. Let's look at what happens. They're primarily a steel production company. We can see what kind of the historic and projected capacity is. They had very, very high returns, and then they went down. You can kind of see what's going to happen in the future. So if we want to get sales growth, maybe we can look at the EBITDA margin next to the assumed return on invested capital and kind of see what you think might happen at the end of the day after you put all of these assumptions in. I just think that's so important. We can look at what the capex to depreciation is and all sorts of things. So that's just a simple index command using the match and index. And then we have, of course, the valuations, negative valuations in the low case, and in the high case, very positive valuations. Okay, so that's how you might use the model. Our financial model, in this case, some of the aspects to look at, even though I've talked a little bit about this, I'm boring you by talking about the historics, which again, we put in our profit and loss statement, but we also put in some production and capacity. What's that? I lost my computer and had to buy one in Amsterdam. I got it stolen. Okay, so that's our balance sheet, and then we can make the same kind of analysis of the assumptions. If you look at the exercises, there's one that really goes through making all these assumptions from the history very slowly, make the financial assumptions, and then you just work through. Some people call this a working analysis, where you put the steel price, the steel production sheet, make sure that they have enough capacity to sell. You have to keep the capacity and the capex and the costs all consistent. And you can do some historic analysis. I think I'm going to get a phone call. I hope I left off somewhere around here before my phone call. So we have the revenues, the operating expenses as normal. We start with our EBITDA, just like we always do. That's the key thing. Put in the current assets and current liabilities, and then on the depreciation, you have these retirements and write-offs. That's the hard part, and you can make enormous mistakes if you don't get the retirements of the assets correctly. And then you can look at the return on invested capital that we've been talking about. That's a whole nother subject of a thing. Now, to make this custom scenario, I think what you want to do is restart the base case, the low case, and the high case. So if we put the low case, what happens there, I hope, is that it puts the low case capacity, the low case numbers and all that, and then you can adjust the low case numbers from this. And now if you click on back on the base case, it goes back, and that's just basically a copy and paste macro. Nothing fancy, but you need 4 lines, and I think it's pretty important. And then we have the valuation, and in the valuation, what you need to do is get some stable ratios of working capital, stable capex to depreciation, stable. What you want to do is make a reasonable assumption on what the long-term NOPAT will be, or the long-term EBITDA will be. Those are the crucial assumptions. Then we have the rest of the stuff. Now with this model, I made this years ago, but this is really when I started importing from PDF. So if you look at that other PDF file, there are about 5 different ways, and you can see that getting the history in a nice way in these models is a crucial aspect. Some companies put this on the website in an Excel file for you, but what you want to do is be able to change this number. This looks like an input. It should be marked. So if we put 20, I'm going to go backwards because we have no 2010, then everything from the, I don't know what happened just to the value, but everything, it just starts with 2010, and after that it makes the forecast. So all of these things where we put the maintenance capex in and the production, this time it takes the history and then goes to the production, the forecast after that. Notice I didn't even have anything in here. Okay, whoops, that was bad. I'm going to undo that, and I think I'm making enough mistakes, so I think I'm going to stop with the video. Now I hope what this, looking at a few of these files does is I hope you are not intimidated at all by these files, and then if you really want to work through these, there's a a little case exercise in the, oh, look at this, where's my website? Okay, if you go to the so if you go back to the home page, you can see I'm just working on this, and then you go to the instead of just going to the corporate model, if you go to the building of a corporate model, then I've got a series of exercises that walks through step by step how to do all of these things. Okay, and again, a little advertising. Sorry, you can close it now, but www.financeenergyinstitute.com, and you can get very, I hope you think they're attractive prices, and I hope that you think the courses have a high quality. We've worked on these for years, and I really think they are. All right, so that's the last overview thing, and